Welcome to the Leaders in Payments podcast, where we talk to C-level leaders from across the payments landscape. We'll be discussing the products and services that impact the payment space today, as well as trends and predictions for the future of payments. We will also hear stories from our guests about their journeys to the top.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Leaders in Payments podcast. I'm your host, Greg Myers, and today's special guest is Cihan, the CEO and co-founder of Green Banana. So, Cihan, thank you so much for being here, and welcome to the show.
It's a pleasure to being here. Thank you.
So, before we dive into the company and what you do, can you give us a quick snapshot of your personal background, maybe where you grew up, where you call home today, a few things like that?
Yeah, absolutely. I'm born and grew up here in Frankfurt, Germany, and working a long times at retail space, and moved years ago into the payment industry, working for FIS, for WorldPay, one of the largest acquirer. And now, since 2 years, we founded our own company. And thank you for having me here.
Oh, absolutely. So maybe tell us a little bit about how you started, why you started Green Banana.
It's pretty simple. With my background from the retail space, e-commerce space, I saw how people would like to pay and how merchants offer their checkout to get paid. And then I moved into the payment industry, and I realized, hey, with payments, you can help merchants to get a better UX, to get more turnover. And then some large merchants coming to me and asking for, hey, we need buy now, pay later for other countries, for other regions. And I was wondering why the actually setup is not covering all the requirements what merchants got on the table. Yeah. And after a couple of a lot of interviews, I take over that and had a lot of interviews, and then I make my first business on the voice. I just connected BNPL providers with merchants, and then I realized, hey, there is a need, there is a market, and it runs also without technology. But to scale it up, you need a gateway, you need a platform or ecosystem where you can bring and scale up buy now, pay later providers with merchants together. And so I founded Green Banana with great people, with great co-founders. We are working together in an old company, so we have the strong relationship, the strong knowing each other, and then we start the journey, and the journey is amazing, actually.
Okay. Well, maybe tell us a little more about the company, maybe who your target customer is, and then, of course, you had a big announcement recently, and I want to make sure you talk about that as well.
Yeah, absolutely. At first, we start just building the platform and bringing BNPL providers from different kind of regions to our platform, and to cover white label BNPL providers, to cover branded solution and also hybrid, and then also to get more into the deep dive with, is it B2B or is it B2C BNPL providers? And after, as we do that, we win the first merchants who using our gateway or platform to enable with BNPL how they need. And this was in a very short time. And last week we had a big announcement that now a major German payment service provider, it's called VR Payment, they using our infrastructure at their OPG platform. It's an omni-channel platform to enable merchants with the best BNPL infrastructure in the international market. And this journey shows how BNPL is a new category on payment orchestration. Payment orchestration is something new. It's kind of traditional. If you look to the large acquirers like Adyen or Stripe or XOPay, it's more traditional. What we are doing is to select a category on BNPL and to stay focused on BNPL and to enable all the environment with BNPL. Yeah. And
okay.
This makes us very, very proud, and we are very thankful for that. And what we also see in the market, that in LATAM, there is a other acquirer called dLocal. They're starting also with BNPL orchestration. In the UK market is one competitor. It's called PPRO. They also starting with BNPL orchestration, and this shows us, hey, we have it's the right time to do that. Yeah.
Okay. So who is your typical customer? Is it the merchant or is it through partners?
When you look to our Rise, at first to win the partners, and now after that we win the clients, the merchants, the retailers, and they are using BNPL how they wanted to use it, how their requirements are. Yeah. So the first one was merchants, and now we enable payment service providers with BNPL. So we see us as an infrastructure layer to simplify BNPL for three different kind of strengths: merchants, payment service provider, and also banks.
Okay. So what do you think is the biggest challenge that you're solving for your customers right now?
It's pretty simple to get one API, and behind this API to select the BNPL provider what you need. If you're talking with acquirers or PSPs, everybody has a part of BNPL on their table. How we bring it to the table, it's massive.
Okay. Well, what makes you different than, say, your competitors out there?
We are seeing us as a agnostic infrastructure layer. We are seamless and invisible. We are not a branded solution. We have no own risk check or own credit check. Everything is related on the BNPL provider. Why? Because it's their bread and butter business. They know their market as well as best. They have the experience there, and they cover all the requirements which is needed in the local market. And we enable and give a harmonized API to our users, to our merchants, and this makes as very, very, very unique.
Okay. Can you talk a little bit about maybe, in the US, I think people will be very familiar with kind of the big players, the Klarnas, Affirms, and those. But when you get into Europe, and correct me if I'm wrong, but aren't there like a lot of solutions, like a lot of different BNPL solutions, even by country?
Absolutely. If you look to my homeland, Germany, buy now, pay later is more open invoice. Yeah, you don't need a debit card or a credit card. You just need your name, address, birth date, mobile number, and email address, and then the BNPL provider will check the risk check and the credit check, and will send you a green flag, and you will get your goods. Yeah, and you don't need a debit or credit card. And if you look into the other European regions, they are also fragmented. The regulatory is very fragmented. And to cover all this, you need a player who can give you one API and give you the strengths to the markets with the regulatory aspect. And this is what we're covering.
Okay. Was there any initial pushback from the BNPL players? Were they thinking like, why would we do this? Why would we be, put together maybe with our competitors? Did you have that kind of pushback?
What we are enabling, we are neutral. Yeah. So we don't prefer any kind of BNPL providers against the others. We just give the infrastructure to our merchants, and the merchants makes the selection. Hey, I want a white label. I want Germany. I want east side of Europe, or Nordics, or Italy or France, and they choose what they want to choose. We cannot influence them, and we don't want to influence them. But what we bring for the BNPL providers, more visibility, more touch points to be on their view on the merchant side. So the merchant can always change the BNPL provider how their requirements are. And this has a feel like touch and feel like sales as a service, to enable their value proposition.
Gotcha. Okay. Well, let's talk about the future a little bit. Where do you see the biggest growth opportunity for what you're doing?
Infrastructure. We offer infrastructure, white label infrastructure, invisible infrastructure, and strong partnership, strong collaboration, and this to building an international BNPL network to wherever our merchants are, to help them there. They don't need to think, hey, who I have to select. Yeah, they just have to think, hey, I can choose BM Green Banana, and they will bring me the best one what I need in my checkout. And this is a big opportunity. And what we see also for banks, it's a big opportunity. For PSPs, it's a big opportunity, and everything between them. Yeah? Embedded finance is a great buzzword to have a feeling what happens actually. If you look to neobanks behind or against traditional banks, you see there is so much embedded features like mobile phone. Yeah, if you look to Revolut, you can use Revolut to get the eSIM card. Yeah, or Klarna, the same. Yeah, they offering a lot of embedded services, and we see as like a BNPL embedded services to bring what the merchants need at the max.
Okay. So what does success look like for your company over, say, the next 3 to 5 years?
Yeah, to be the one and only BNPL orchestrator, to be involved at more PSPs, more acquirers, also in the banking infrastructure, to enable every ecosystem to build the ecosystem which is behind, and to be that the first one.
Okay. Well, before we go any further, I have to ask this question, and I'm sure people who are listening and watching are going to want to know where the name Green Banana came from.
It's so pretty when you heard the name. It's you're feeling good, yeah, and feeling good is something very, very important. And banana, what presents banana? Banana is to simplify things, and with our attitude to simplify buy now pay later, it's to simplify APIs, to simplify requirements. And with green, we mentioned a green field. Always to think how we can enable customers, BNPL providers, merchants, banks, to get the best solution. And nothing, when you looked into the past, as I started my career in the retail space, online shopping was something, are you crazy? Who needs online shopping? You can go to the store behind your house and get the things immediately. Yeah, and now everything is online. It's streaming, it's music, it's chatting, it's shopping, it's food. Everything is online. Yeah, and what we are doing is greenfield, is fresh, and in a couple of years, yeah, it's more traditional. Why? Because technical is moving fast. Yeah, if you look to the market of payments as with stable coins, in the past, stable coins, everybody would mention, "Hey, are you crazy? Are you why I need stable coins? Why I need crypto or blockchain?" And now it's coming more and more not traditional, but more and more normal. Yeah, and this is what I learned in my career from retail, payment, and banking. Everything is just in the moment, just a time slot. Yeah, and when you go forward, you always need to be more innovative. And what we are doing is very, very innovative.
Okay. Well, when you kind of zoom out and look at a big picture, what are some of the biggest trends that you think are reshaping the payments industry today?
Stablecoins. In the short answer, stablecoins. Why? Because I think it's not in the front end the new trend. It's more on the back end the new trend. The front end for the shoppers should be the same as they pay it today. Intuitive front end, but back end, the stablecoins will bring a lot of value, a lot of enablement for the payment service providers, for the banks, for the customer, for the merchants. And this is really very, very, very unique. For me, stablecoins has the same impact as starting online shopping. Yeah, nobody believes at the first there, and years later, everything runs on online business. And stablecoins the same. Actually, it's running similar to the traditional payments, to the traditional network, but in the future, or more, as we see, well, it will be the next generation and normal.
Okay. What are your thoughts on agentic commerce, having agents buying for people?
This is really something. Wow, I have no words for that. Why? Because you just need to act with your voice. I want blue shoes, and everything will be done. This is really like Star Trek. Yeah, I loved Star Trek. Why? Because when you look to Star Trek, there was a iPad was there was a Siri or Alexa was there, and all this vision comes true, more and more true. Now you can just tell, hey, I want red shoes or blue shoes from Nike or Adidas, and it will do. It will happen. And this is really amazing for retailers. And retailers have to be prepared on agentic commerce. It's the next generation. And when you as a retailer don't act in the space with the right shop system, with the right payment service provider, you will lose your future business, because it's like you a traditional retailer with no online shop, and this will enable you to be a part of the new generation.
Do you think this whole AI agentic commerce, is it going to positively or negatively affect your business, or what do you see there?
I see new trends and new technology always as a new chance. Why? When you look into the past, everything was what comes as a new trend. People are frightened. People are, it will, it's not feeling good. It's a good act. But if you look to the future, it will help to bring more synergies. It will help to bring more better UX, and this will enable everybody from the local retailer to the enterprise retailer to act more and better in a better way.
Okay. Well, a couple of final questions before we wrap up. So if you could go back and give your younger self some advice at the start of your career, what would that advice be?
It would be, hey, believe more in yourself, in your own strengths, and there is nothing which is right or wrong. It's just try and error to be more in this way, to lead with integrity, to take more risk on this by yourself. And life is too short just to looking back. Hey, I missed an opportunity or miss a possibility. It was very funny as Napster starting and fail. I think, hey, what can be the next trend? And I think about movies and series. Yeah, I think, hey, how would the world look like if movies would be available on internet? And then I reach out to one of the largest publisher of movies. I don't want to say any kind of name, but they look to me and mention, hey, it's a crazy idea, but we're selling a lot of DVDs, and this will never happen. Why? Because if you look to the internet, it would take so much time to bring all this data into the net, into the internet. Yeah, and if you look now, there's a huge streaming portals who are covering, and big competition is there. And idea is good, but the execution is the most important thing. To get ideas can be challenging, maybe, but to bring that on the street, this is what makes the difference. And from my perspective, I had this idea. Other people in outside the big outside European has also the same idea, but they're starting with a different kind of approach. And this shows everything what you're thinking can think from other people. The differentiator is to execute that.
Yeah, I love it. I think that's great advice, great wisdom there. So, two final questions. What's the one thing that you think payment leaders today that are maybe listening to this show, what should they be thinking about being in the payments industry right now?
I think as a payment leader, stay in focus in what you are doing, be the best what you are doing, and also to look behind what's happening in the other businesses or in other verticals, to have this adaptation. Hey, there is a trend, how it can impact my own payment business and how I can be maybe the first mover, or if I want to be the second mover, to look who are doing something new and maybe to follow up on this. And I think as a payment leader, this is very, very important, because technology moves so fast, everything changing so fast. If you speaking today about agentic commerce, 10 years ago, it was not visible, it was not thinkable, yeah. And to don't lose the opportunity to also can change the driver's seat where you're sitting, yeah.
Okay, so one final question. What would you have as the key takeaways from this episode? What do you want people to remember about Green Banana?
Just starting with when you have an idea, just starting, have a lot of interviews, and to believe in yourself. Yeah, this is very, very important to create a great team where you can take over the needs of the market.
Okay. Well, Cihan, this has been a great show. I really appreciate you being on and sharing your journey and your story and about Green Banana and what you're doing in the BNPL space. So I know your time is very valuable. So I really thank you so much for being here, and I really appreciate your time today.
And thank you so much. Appreciate.
Yeah, absolutely. And to all you listeners out there, I thank you for your time as well. And until the next story.
Thank you for joining us this week on the Leaders in Payments podcast. Make sure you visit our website at leadersinpayments.com, where you can subscribe to the show and where you'll find our show notes. If you enjoyed listening, please share on your social channels as well.